Hi guys, today we're going to be taking a look at some super interesting screenshots that were recently shared on Twitter from an unreleased Plants vs Zombies action-adventure game that was unfortunately cancelled early in its development back in 2016, the year Garden Warfare 2 was released. So potentially this was a project that was shut down and Battle for Neighborville took its place, or these games were both in development at the same time and they decided to go with BFN. So the screenshots you are seeing on screen now were posted by Spark Gaming on Twitter back in February. I was sent a link by good old Masterlord, but with everything else going on with PvZ, I've only just got round to covering it. Now before I go any further, I know some of you might be thinking these images could be from any work in progress game. How do we know this is from a cancelled PvZ game? What evidence have we got to back up this tweet? Well, the first thing to note is that after posting 2 additional screenshots in a comment in the same tweet, Spark Gaming also shared a link to the source of the images. Unfortunately, the link now says the page does not exist, which is a bit sus if you ask me, but all will be cleared up with this next piece of evidence. So the main piece of evidence that solidifies these findings was due to a retweet and comment of the original post by Jeremy Vanhoozer. Very cool name, by the way. So I'd not heard of him before, but Vanhoozer is a game dev who has worked at a number of huge studios during his career, including the likes of Disney and Magic Leap, but is now currently working for Bungie. But as well as these studios, he's also worked with our beloved PopCap Vancouver to be exact. Vanhoozer said the following: "This is really early unfinished art. You should have seen where it was headed. The most excited I have ever been about a PvZ game. So much amazing work was done by an absolutely incredible team. Would have been special and different. Ah well." Judging by how this is written, you can tell the project had the potential to be turned into something really special, something we'd never seen before. I wonder what the reason behind the project being cancelled was. Did it have something to do with BFN or not? Currently this is all we know, and we might not ever find the reason behind the cancellation, but who knows, maybe later down the line we'll get to see a PvZ adventure game. Anyway, let's take a closer look at these screenshots, shall we? So this first one looks to be some sort of like main hub, I guess. Maybe this is where you would spawn in and the tutorial takes place. We have a main house, maybe this is Dave's house, but if you look over to the left there appears to be another house, so perhaps this is just some sort of small neighborhood. Also, interestingly, if you look at the tower on the top right, this is very similar, if not exactly the same as the towers we see in BFN, perhaps hinting this game would have been set in Neighborville. The other 5 screenshots seem to be from the same area, this sort of pirate shanty town along the coastline. It looks very tropical and something you could definitely imagine seeing in Sea of Thieves. Perhaps this would be like the first area you come across, bursting with colour, filled with loads of caves and other areas to explore, buried treasure and all that other good stuff. There's also a bunch of like castle fortifications, and a lot of the area makes me almost think of a combination of tourist trap and preserved pastures. It's actually really interesting how many beachfront levels we got in BFN. Maybe these ideas had something to do with this project, who knows. Then we have the second area, which clearly seems to be a cave you would discover hidden deep within the island. Maybe this would be where you fight the boss of the area, or maybe it's where the secret to Dr. Zomboss's latest plans for world domination are. This area definitely gives me Crash 4 vibes, as there's a similar level in that game, so if you want a reference, Crash 4 is probably as good as any, particularly as both franchises have a fairly similar art style. Overall, I gotta say I found these screenshots super interesting to look at. Like, it puts so many ideas and thoughts into my head of what this PvZ game could have looked like. I imagine, judging by the time frame, that the game may have been very similar to what we got to play in Battle for Neighborville in terms of the free roam regions, but just on a grander scale. I'm really interested to find out what you guys think of this. Do you think an action-adventure PvZ game would have worked, or do you think the decision to release another shooter was the best option? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that's about it for today's video. As always, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and if you do want to support the channel further, check out my Patreon page by clicking on screen now or through the link in the description. But other than that, I will see you in the next one. Okay, thanks guys, bye.